Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Review of Honor. As you know, we cover everything that happens in a Ring of Honor ring and outside of a Ring of Honor ring, as you will find out soon enough. But we are on the road. We're not even on the road. We're at that last like turn right before we get where we're going, which is that 19th anniversary show that is this Friday. This is the go home edition of Ring of Honor, and well, I think that main event really did go a long way to getting over everything that's supposed to be happening, and they did some work in getting any of the matches that aren't connected to the main LFI versus Foundation storyline. They did some good things with getting them moving forward, but we're going to talk about all of that. And before we can get into all that, I got to introduce, you guys know him, he's my co-host, the three-time baby-making champ. This is Ness. Sir, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing mighty fine. I just got to let the people know I was initially going to wear this shirt. Couldn't find it. Got on the call with StatKing. I said, now I have to find the shirt because we are a team. We are connected, and we had that wavelength thing going where he has the LIJ shirt on. I was going to wear my Destino LIJ shirt, and here we are. And it's a whole lot of arm raising, eye opening, fist action going on in this episode. So yeah.
And I don't know if that's giving it away who we think's gonna win on some of these matches, but for the pay-per-view. But we are gonna get into that, guys. We're gonna give you our preview of the 19th anniversary show. But first, gotta hit the marks, right? So remember to hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. We love everything that you guys do for us because we love everything that we get to do for you guys. So let's get straight into it. This was I was not really looking forward to this opening match. I didn't think it was going to be that great. and then the promo videos happened. And I was like, I want Eli ISOM to beat everybody. I was like, this guy has been through some shit. It's interesting because his story is incredible to me for the reason that it involves something we don't usually see in wrestling. A lot of times people will give us a story of, they watched it as a kid, they fell in love with it. Yeah, okay. Maybe they were flipping channels. Maybe their friend at school told them about it. Or sometimes we get the, I was a wrestler in college or whatever the case may be. Sometimes we get the, my father was a wrestling fan. Very rarely do we get my mother was a wrestling fan. And that's the reason why I liked Eli's story, because it gives something for all of our female wrestling fans. You have the ability down the road, even though sometimes you may get more like if a guy's a wrestling fan, there's a stereotype, the fat, overweight, like nerdy wrestling fan, whatever. Obviously, not all guys are going to fit that mold. We clearly don't. But a lot of times it's difficult for women to be wrestling fans. Especially last year we saw with that speaking out movement how dangerous it can be for a woman to be a wrestling fan. And Eli's story resonated with me because of that, because it shows what you can do to overcome the difficulties when you want to be part of something that you love. And his mom loved wrestling, and his mom imparted that to him. And because of that, I was like, Eli ISOM versus the world. And it was funny because coming into this match, I was just like, I think Ray Horace is going to pick up the win. This will be all right. Like it's a good match for Ray Horace to win, to get into contention again against Dragon Lee. After that promo video, I was like, if Eli doesn't win, I'm going to be very upset. But luckily for everybody involved, well, not for Ray Horace, Eli ISOM does come away with the win. This was a really good match. I gave it 2.5 stars. I liked it. It had action-packed moments, and it reinforced. What I love is when the matches reinforce the promo videos. And in the promo videos, Eli was talking about dedication. He was talking about how much this means to him. He talks about how he is supposed to be the future. Ray Horus responds with "He is the now," which is what he's supposed to say back to that. But in the match, you saw Ray Horus trying to put the hurt on this guy and him refusing to give up, refusing to go down. And Caprice Coleman hit it on the head. He's like, as long as this kid is breathing, he's gonna keep coming after you. He's gonna keep fighting. And Eli Isom was rewarded for that dedication, for that hard work when he picked up the win. I think probably one of my favorite moments was just when they were doing the back and forth punches, the back and forth hits, and just this look on Eli's face where he's like, hit me again. No, like hit me again. He's coming right back to him. So I liked it. I liked the match, and coming in with almost no expectations for it, it definitely did more for me than I thought. But Ness, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I agreed with the 2.5. I'm going to give it an extra quarter star. So I'm going with 2 3/4 stars for the fact that I did not expect that win for Eli Isom to come about. And again, I agree with it. It was satisfying seeing it happen, and it happened out of nowhere. There was a little bit of back and forth offense between the two, but majority of the match was Ray Horus's to win, or that's the way it looked. But as again, just like you said, and they played up on commentary, Eli Isom is not going to go down without a fight. You know, he's not really ready to give this match up. Like you said in his promo videos, he's extremely dedicated. You know, with the passing of his mother, that's his motivation because she was the wrestling fan and she instilled that in him. So now he felt as though that to honor her, that's what he needs to do. And he said that it's like, look, there's times I wanted to give up and I can't do that. And I believe that's a driving force that's going to, now that we know this history, because I didn't know shit about this guy for however long he's been in Ring of Honor. He's just been showing up. I'm just like, oh, all right, this is a dude that run around with a cheeseburger. So I really didn't have any type of connections or wasn't invested in the dude whatsoever. But now hearing his backstory and understanding this, I can sympathize with him on the grounds of, he lost a loved one and that loved one loved something major. And now just not only is he's going to, honor the loved one, he's just going to go and take it and honor this sport that they loved as well. And he's put in that work. I've seen him in a few matches. Again, it really wasn't nothing too mind blowing, but I think this was definitely his best showing that I've seen of him so far. Maybe it was the promo video. Maybe it was me finally understanding his backstory. Just the story that they just built up between these two in this match itself, because again, it looked like it was Ray Horus's to win, but then out of nowhere with this surprise reverse brain buster, he picks up the clean win, just knocked Ray Horus out for the 3 count. And and I just said, wow. I literally said wow when it happened. But again, it was just a satisfying moment that it seemed like that from the promo video up to that point of the match and the win, it just seemed like everything synced perfectly. So I want to see more what they're going to do with Eli Isom. I'm slowly getting invested because I think they handled this very well. And he's going to be in a match. I think he'll be in the 4 corners. We'll get into that. But post anniversary show, I want to see what they do with him. Again, I don't know what that 4 corners match or 4-way match is, what that leads to, but I'd probably lead to either a TV title match or title shot, I should say, or a some type of title shot. Probably not the world title, but the mid-card title. I would like to see whoever wins that get that type of thing, but somewhere down the line, as long as he keeps to proving himself like he did against Ray Horus, I wouldn't mind seeing Eli Isom in TV title match against Dragon Lee or a pure title match against Jonathan Gresham. At this point, so kudos to Eli Isom and Ring of Honor just bringing that all around full circle for us to enjoy ourselves, because like you said, we're both like, all right, Eli, some Ray words, just get this win, let's get into this main event. But they literally gave us a swerve, and it was like, it wasn't an out of left field type of swerve. It was just something that, you know, all right, let's do this surprise. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. So kudos to all around.
Yeah, it reminded me of in the moment, because you said, you know, he seemed like the kind of the shock of the win. He himself was shocked when he won, and that was really cool. And it just reminded me of the I forget her name, but there was a woman who had, her brother was a really big wrestling fan and a really big Chris Jericho fan, and I don't know if he ever got to meet Jericho, but either way, she had recorded herself on, I think, Instagram or one of the, or maybe Twitter or whatever, singing Judas. And Jericho saw it and invited her to sing with and build make a choir to do the entrance for Jericho at Revolution here in Chicago last year. And she said that when she was singing and when she was able to perform, it made her feel as though she was connected back to her brother. And that is a powerful story, and I think that that's going to be what helps make Eli a star. That's going to be like that connection, that story of what it means to him to wrestle, what each win means. Like that, because all of us experience loss. All of us lose loved ones. We are all going to eventually lose our parents, right? So like to be able to empathize with Eli, to be like, every time he wins, that's his mom. Like that's going to be powerful. He is going to be he has the potential, if his in-ring work matches up, to be a really strong babyface for them down the road. I think that's going to be something that that's kind of what the point of this match was, to talk about how he is both the future and maybe that future is coming soon. But speaking of the future, we have to talk about this. I guess we don't really have to talk about it, but it's like a 10-15 second clip where Matt Taven basically says, I'm accepting this unsanctioned match. So they're going to be having this unsanctioned match at the anniversary show. It will be Taven versus Vincent. But as we continue to move forward, we get something that's a little bit longer than a 15-second video and a lot better than a 15-second video of Taven accepting an unsanctioned match. And it is a video promo vignette back and forth between EC3 and Jay Briscoe. And I gotta say, I absolutely loved it. I loved every single moment of this promo video, whether it was EC3, the way just his control over his character. Like, he knows. It reminds me a lot of Cody Rhodes back in 2019 and going into 2020. How Cody knew his character so well. He knew exactly when to turn and address one side of the audience, how to use his voice, just different inflections, body language. EC3 right now seems like a master of that. And just, I don't know if they intend to do certain things so that they can play on it later, but if they didn't, just how Jay Briscoe was able to use EC3 refusing to look him in the eyes when he reached for the handshake during that fatal four-way, incredible. And Jay Briscoe, during his part of the promo, just blatantly saying, we've gotten phone calls from WWE. No, and not like changing the name, or like, you know, sometimes they'll be like, that place up in Connecticut, or like New York was calling the big, like they'll say something like that. No, which is to his point, or what to his argument with EC3 is he is a man of honor. So like he's like, it's straight up, what you see with Jay Briscoe is what you get. And I mean, granted, there are, you know, real reasons as to why WWE didn't actually want to sign the Briscoes after they extended them that offer. But Briscoe is right. They did extend the offer, and they did want them to come to NXT. And Jay Briscoe said, no, me and Mark and I are Ring of Honor for life. This is who we are. Honor is real, and that is who we are. And I think that the promo video did more for the feud than some of the actual physicality of the feud. Yeah. So I guess I guess we should talk more about that when we preview the actual pay-per-view. But did you have any kind of thoughts about the video and all that kind of stuff?
No, I enjoyed it, and I actually was gonna pretty much piggyback off of that. I think it actually did a number of wonders for this feud, because these guys just literally have been, at odds. We really don't have a real reason, as to why they don't like each other. It's not even that they don't like each other. It's just that Jay Briscoe's just been triggered ever since EC3 came, made his way into Ring of Honor. And he just always, he took offense to that for whatever reason. But now it's getting to a point where, because, I'm Jay Briscoe. You know who I am. The world knows who I am. Like you said, WWE knows who I am. And not that it is the end-all be-all for every wrestling fan or just every wrestler, period, but a lot of people take stake in WWE. So for him to throw that out there, he pretty much is just, and for the lack of a better term, throwing his dick on the table and saying, I'm that guy, and who the hell are you? I've shaken hands with some of the best in the world, Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black, who, these guys go by different names now. Just legends and mega superstars of the wrestling business. They've all looked me in my eyes and shook my hand, while you, EC3, have not done a damn thing in this company. You come in with your half-ass handshake, and I don't feel I think this is what he's thinking. I don't feel the respect from that, Yeah. And which, hey, Jay, 11-time tag team champion, a 2-time world heavyweight champion. He has credentials for him to feel this way. So I really can't fault him for that. But now we have, like I said, an idea as to why he's just I don't really feel you right now, EC3. But after this match, maybe we can come to some type of mutual respect. But first, I got to kick your ass to even want to think about being able to do that. So I think that'll probably end up being a better situation for them after the match. But up until then, they gotta brawl it out. They gotta duke it out first.
And I
like men do.
And I liked how he brought up the fact that EC3 went through WWE twice. I liked that a lot. Just that little subtlety of the jab, where it was I could have gone there, but I didn't need to. You went there twice and couldn't get the job done. And you have the audacity to come to me. But speaking of audacity, when we talk about things that are, people who have audacity, people who don't care what happens, who have no problem just flaunting rules, and they don't care if management is going to get angry at them. We don't necessarily say that they are, audacious. That's a word you could use, but from management's perspective, you might say that we can't control these people. They're ungovernable. Maybe that's a word that might get tossed around. And if you have people who are ungovernable, and you have people who say rules must be followed, honor must be maintained, sooner or later, they're gonna cross paths. And that's what we have in this main event. This is a preview of basically 3 matches on the card for the anniversary show. It's a preview of the tag title match. It's a preview of the TV title match, and it is a preview of our main event, the the World Championship match. So this is an 8-man tag match between LFI and the Foundation. Now, I like the promo videos. The only thing that I thought was kind of funny about two things that I thought was funny about the promo videos. One, Amy Rose looked out of place. She was just like weirdly staring at the camera. And two, Dragon Lee was like talking about how he's got championships on 2 shoulders. Roosh has championships on his shoulders. Kenny has a championship. He's like, everybody has a championship. And I was like, Bestia doesn't have a championship. What the hell are you talking about? But outside of that, solid promo videos that kind of recap everything that's happening between these two teams. And then they go at it in a really solid main event. I gave this one 3 stars because of just, and I know it's what you love, the car crash aspect of it. Yeah. That was at play here in spades. We have Amy Rose on commentary. The less we talk about that, the better. We'll somehow use fewer words than she did on commentary. So we'll just let you know that she was there. Yeah. The match itself, really great. They did a good job of both teasing the matchups that are going to happen on Friday, but also not giving too much away. Like, we got moments where we had Roosh and Jay Lethal in the ring, and then we also got moments where we had Tracy Williams and Dragon Lee in the ring, and we got moments where it was Kenny King and Rhett Titus. We saw all these different interchanges, but it didn't give everything away of what we're going to get at the pay-per-view, which I think was smart. You can sometimes give away too much, and they kept everything moving by having Rhett Titus, Jonathan Gresham, and weirdly or interestingly, Bestia be the glue that held the match together, because you were able to have moments where Rhett would come in, Kenny King's in there, and then after the two of them cross, you get Bestia in. And you have moments where different people can jump in and out of the match so that everything is still seamless. And some great car crash moments, some great, eventually everything goes to the outside. Eventually the Foundation says, if we got to get if these guys are going to make us get our hands dirty, I guess we're going to have to get our hands dirty. And I think for me, the highlight of the match, outside of the car crash aspect, was in a way the heart of the match of Rhett Titus versus Kenny King. Like, that history of them as a tag team, that history of now they are on opposing sides and there is no love lost between the two of them. Absolutely. This is pure, like, just the sound of the chops, the sound of those open palmed strikes echoing in that room was phenomenal. This is one of the moments where, as awesome as it would be to have that Ring of Honor crowd and how loud they would have been, not having them didn't actually detract as much from the match, because you were able to hear those exchanges between them, the talking back and forth. You were able to hear how hard they were hitting each other. So I give this one 3 stars. Ness, what did you think about this one?
Well, I gave it 3.5 just for the fact that fucking wild. It definitely was a car crash. But when multi-man matches like these, that's what you're going to get. So it's already established. But man, when this thing broke down, it broke down. At one point I thought Ty Sinclair was going to throw it out and they were just going to brawl to the end of the show. I didn't even think the match was going to get finished. I honestly didn't think there was going to be a pinfall at all. LFI style matches that's what we've come to grown to, understand what's going to happen. They break down, they go outside of the ring. There's all types of carnage. Roosh is going to continue to use those cables. He's going to continue not to get disqualified for choking people with these wires. But, at this point, it is what it is. It's normal. It's normal. But yeah, it was a lot of back and forth action, and they were just like setting matches, like somewhat junior matches. Dragon Lee and Jonathan Gresham start the match off, and I'm just like, yeah, I want to see that. And then just like I said, everybody's just interchanging, coming in and out of the match. I'm like, yeah, I want to see that matchup. I would love to see that matchup. Like, just giving us all types of different matches or matchups, I should say, between the two teams, and it was just like they're just like we say, those plates spinning. They're going at like 60 miles an hour at this point when it's like everything is going on. Then it broke down to the finish. The Bestia del Ring picking up the victory for LFI. And these guys got all the momentum now going into the anniversary show. And it's just like they definitely got the foundation out of their game. It was a little bit of pure wrestling from these guys. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit, because they were definitely trying to fight against LFI the way that LFI fights and wrestles. They weren't trying to do pure wrestling. They weren't trying to do too many, submissions and things of that nature. They were just literally in there trying to fight you. And that's what, in my opinion, threw the foundation off, because they are the pure wrestlers. This is what they do. They had to stick to their honorable guns, so to speak. They were frustrated. Like the whole team literally was frustrated at one point. And then they said, fuck it, we're just going to fight these guys. They literally didn't say it, verbatim, but you can tell and how they were carrying themselves. After a while, they were just trying to brawl it out. Wrestling went out the window. So I think that was, as far as the storyline, that was great, because they tried to show them that, all right, we've had an episode where it was, we were at this situation before. It was either, are we going to stick to our guns and pure wrestle, or are we going to stoop down to their level and fight? At that time, they stuck to their guns and they continued the pure wrestle. This time, it was to the point where, LFI is spitting at them, slapping them in the face, getting into the ring when they shouldn't, when they really shouldn't be, just disrespecting, mushing them in the face, pushing them, shoving them, all types of things. And Foundation said, fuck this wrestling shit. We're going to fight you. We're going to fight you. We're done with disrespect. And that's where they messed up at, because if they would have kept their heads on straight, they would have tried to, just focus on the pure wrestling, maybe they would have had a chance to leave this episode with the victory. Again, they really let LFI get under their skin and throw them off their game. And I think that ultimately led to the loss. So, like I said, at this point in time, LFI has all the momentum going into the anniversary show this Friday. So, but now I'm just waiting for these matches, man. The tag match, the TV title match, the world championship match. I'm just all for it. This is what the anniversary show was for me anyway. LFI versus the Foundation. That's the peak. Everything else that comes under that is just like, okay, nice adding fixtures. I'm here for the main course, and that's LFI versus the Foundation.
So let's talk about that. Now that we know LFI has the momentum going into the anniversary show, let's preview this anniversary show. There are there's a lot of matches on this one. There are 10 matches, including the pre-show. So let's start with our pre-show. We have Brian Johnson versus Danhausen versus Eli ISOM versus LSG. It is a four-corner survival match. As far as we know, there's no reward for winning the match. There's no title shot. That may change as we get closer to the pay-per-view. They may make an announcement, but as of right now, there is nobody. There's no concrete reward. I'm gonna pick Eli. I'm gonna pick Eli for this one. Who do you got for this one?
I want to. It's between Eli and I want to say Brian Johnson. I'm a Brian Johnson mark.
That's fair.
I haven't had him on. We haven't seen him on a couple episodes now, and it's just like, oh man, I miss how annoying he is. So he comes back.
We haven't seen him, but he's been yelling his ass off somewhere.
Oh, he's in Philly somewhere, just rambling.
Our second match on the pre-show, and I feel like Ness is going to be a little upset that this is on the pre-show, is Shane Taylor Promotions defending the 6-man tag titles against Mexa Squad, Bandito, Flamita, Ray Horace. I'm going to take Shane Taylor on this one. I don't think that they gave them the titles for them to lose the titles so quickly. I think Mexa Squad takes the L, and this frees up Mexa Squad to, while remaining a team, maybe go after tag titles and go after the TV title in their own way. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Yeah, obviously, I don't see Shane Taylor promotion. That would be such poor booking on Ring of Honor's part to give these guys. One, you wanted to give them, you just literally wanted to hand them the titles. They didn't want them. They were gonna earn them. They earned them, and then they lose them. That just be poor booking. But I definitely want to piggyback off of freeing up Mexa Squad, because in his match, Ray Horace's match, prior to the match, during his video package, he was talking about how he's in these divisions, and he's still high ranking. So I took that as, all right, if the tag team thing doesn't work out, or the 6-man thing doesn't work out, I can go after these singles titles, and just worry about myself. So yeah. I think, to your point, I think that's probably what's going to happen. These guys will, just do their own thing, or two of them might go after the tag titles, and then somebody else can go after one of the single titles. But I think, yeah, definitely Shane Taylor Promotions retaining.
I think Bandito versus Roosh or Jay Lethal for the world title would be big. Either way, that either whoever is holding that title, I think that's an awesome match, just on paper and in real life.
Hell yeah.
But going on to the main card, we have Dalton Castle versus Josh Woods. Josh Woods will have Silas Young in his corner. I think they gave Dalton the win on TV to give Josh Woods the win on pay-per-view, and have the bigger win and the bigger match goes in Josh Woods' favor, and we get more of that Silas Young being the person in Josh Woods' ear who gets him over the hump, who gets him to be really Josh the Goods Woods. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I think while I want Josh to get this win, he definitely needs it at this point. Dalton Castle, he's gonna, I won't say flounder, but he can take a loss and bounce back regardless. I think that Josh definitely needs this win after everything that they're building up between him and Silas. Because if he doesn't, it's gonna go bad, and I don't want it to go bad.
And we will add that that match will be under Pure Rules conditions. Speaking of Pure Rules conditions, Jonathan Gresham will be defending the Ring of Honor Pure Championship against Ness's favorite wrestler in Ring of Honor, Dak Draper. I'm not even going to bother to ask you. We're both picking Jonathan Gresham on this one.
Yeah, of course. What's funny? I honestly, I don't want to say I forgot, but I just ignored it out of my mind that match was happening. And then, they were saying it at the end of the episode, oh, this match happened, this match. And then they showed Dak Draper, the graphic of Dak Draper and Jonathan Gresham. I'm like, fuck, I forgot this shit was going to happen. Hurry it up and get this shit over with.
You know what I think would be interesting? I know you're going to hate this, but if somebody from LFI causes a distraction and Dak Draper wins, and that way they've managed to take all the titles away from Foundation as the pay-per-view is going on, I think that would be hilarious. Nope. I honestly hope it happens just to hear how angry it's gonna make you.
I'll have a rant like drunk guy JJ whenever Randy Orton or Sasha Banks loses. That's how bad. Yeah. And
that's crazy because last year it was happening a lot. But going onwards, we have Mark Briscoe versus Flip Gordon. This is a nice little match that we didn't really think we were going to get, in the sense of why would these two face off against each other on a pay-per-view in a singles match? It's the last thing you'd think of. But in a way, this is a really great way of showing how Ring of Honor is building matches in small ways out of other things that the main story was really Jay Briscoe and EC3. But out of Jay Briscoe and EC3, they still found something for Mark and Flip to do. And I think that's really cool, them thinking, how do we take one event and get multiple things out of it? I think in this one, I feel like Flip Gordon needs the win more, and I feel like Flip Gordon is a singles match. It's more Flip Gordon's style. I'm giving this one to Flip. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he definitely does need the win. As frustrated as he's been lately with everything, but he kind of brought it on himself. But, it is what it is. He's the mercenary. He went out there and did some mercenary things. And when mercenaries do things of that nature, it sometimes comes back to them. And that was a receipt that Mark Briscoe got. So I think that Flip could use the victory definitely over Mark. It'll somewhat more solidify, the attitude he has going on right now. And you don't want to just lose that and let it go to waste. You got to strike when the iron's hot with that. And I think Flip has been on point with this new attitude of his.
Talking about things coming home to roost when you make decisions, we have an unsanctioned match between Matt Taven and Vincent. This is, I guess, arguably the most personal rivalry out of all of the matches that we have on this card. But in a way, it seems unnecessary. We already had Taven beat Vincent at Final Battle. We've had Taven and Bennett. We've had that OGK versus the Righteous tag match. We've had just, I don't know. It seems as though this is going nowhere almost. It feels as though Taven needs to beat Vincent just one more time, but he already did. So if Vincent wins, it just means that this continues, and I don't know how it continues past an unsanctioned match, which I'm pretty sure they're not, like the way Vincent was talking about it, and when they were showing different promo videos in the past of where Vincent was traveling to for this match, it's not even going to happen in the same area as the rest of this card. So if Taven doesn't win this match, I don't know where they go next with this, unless they're just going to have Vincent win and the heel win, which personally I would actually be okay with. I don't think that heels decisively win feuds enough in wrestling. I think we sometimes go a little too overboard in the idea of the good guy must win, or we have to have that storybook ending for a feud when heels should be winning. Otherwise, they're not heels, really. They're not good at what they do. So I would want Vincent to win, but I feel like this is just, it's got to be another Taven win. I don't know if we see Bennett, if we see any member of the Righteous, whether it's Vita or Bateman show up. Maybe we see one of the Bruisers, the Beer City Bruiser or Brian Malonis, show up in this because this is unsanctioned. They can get away with attacking Taven during this match. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to take Taven in this one. What about you?
Honestly, I don't even care who wins this match. At the start of the feud and the story, I was like not that interested. I am interested at this point, but I honestly I can't call it. Like, you made some great points. If it's a Vincent victory, then it's definitely going to continue to go, because nobody, like you said, the heel getting the win, they're going to want to prolong it and to again bring it back full circle to a feel-good win for the face in Matt Taven. I don't think Taven needs this win, so to speak, because he's pretty much he is pretty much looking better in my opinion throughout this whole feud. Sometimes he goes a little overboard, but it is what it is. But I'm gonna go with Vincent, and hopefully if he does win, and that'll just like literally be it, because now I feel as though it's going to be my fault if he wins and they continue this shit for like another 3 months. Then I'm going to be upset.
Don't worry, I'll blame you if that's what happens.
I'll take the blame, because I said shit. I remember that episode, the go home episode. I said this, and look what happened.
See, my thing is, if Vincent were to win, then I think if a heel is going to win this kind of match, it's supposed to set the heel up for something bigger. Yeah. And right now, there's really nothing big for him to do. All of the titles are being held back and forth between LFI and Foundation. So unless they're going to end the LFI Foundation story for one of the champion holders, who would then have to be a Foundation member because Vincent's a heel, and I don't know if it works, the heel versus heel thing, with the type of heel that Vincent is, then it would be weird, because the way Vincent operates is it's Vincent, it's the righteous. It's Vincent and Bateman versus whoever it is that he is facing off against. So then it would turn into righteous versus Foundation, which we're Foundation versus LFI. So I don't know how that works. I feel as though it's just easier for Taven. Like, it's cleaner if Taven wins and they can move them both to something different. Maybe Vincent turns to saying, you know what, Dalton Castle, you've been down on your luck, but I can fix that. Maybe that's where they go with Vincent. Maybe Taven then focuses on Roosh or focuses on the TV title with Dragon Lee, assuming that they win. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of these LFI and Foundation matches. We have LFI versus the Foundation in a tag team match. The ROH Tag Team Championships are on the line. I think this is where we got to start figuring out who we side with, right? Like, we're wearing our LFI, we're wearing shirts, right? Like, so we gotta start getting into this. I'm taking LFI on this one, and it's weird because two of the people involved in this match are gonna have a singles match on this very same pay-per-view. So I'm taking, for the tag titles, I'm gonna take LFI on this one. What about you?
I agree. I definitely agree. I'm gonna wait for my explanation, because we're probably gonna explain that right after this one. But yeah, LFI titles definitely.
Yes, right after this. I mean, hopefully not immediately right after this on the card itself. Or maybe that factors into it. We have Dragon Lee versus Tracy Williams for the television championship. This is where I pick a Foundation member. I'm taking Tracy Williams to take the TV title from Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee has been holding that TV title for a really long time. And I think that it works better if now you swap one of the titles and you can have it be the TV title, because it opens up a lot more for what Tracy Williams is able to do. Tracy Williams can even try to make an argument that we're going to have this TV title under pure rules, which would feel weird considering we have a pure championship. That could maybe start feeding into some of the stuff that's going on between Foundation members. But I think that this is a moment where Dragon Lee loses his title. In a way, he's almost, if you watch the promo videos, to me at least, he is almost the guy who is more has more bragging, more pride than even Roosh when it comes to what LFI is and what LFI does. But this is a symptom of the pandemic. But Dragon Lee has held the TV title for 466 days. The only person who has held that TV title longer than him is Jay Lethal, when Jay Lethal had that 567-day reign, that ridiculously long reign. That's the only person who's held it longer. I think it's time to end it. I think Tracy Williams is the guy to get it done, and I think it plays off of whatever happens during that tag match. What do you think?
The irony in the person who had it the longest reign with the TV title, and the guy that has it now, pretty much the second longest reign, they're already in a feud of faction versus faction, which is hilarious. Yeah, I'm definitely going with Tracy Williams. Man, listen, I am the biggest Dragon Lee fans in the world. He's a phenomenal in-ring athlete, a phenomenal talent. But 466 days as TV title champion. Yes, it had to do with the pandemic. Now he's a double champion at the moment. Has been now for a couple months. So I think it's about time he can lose the TV title. He's second longest reigning. He's a double champ. He has all this under his accolades for being in Ring of Honor. All right. It's cemented. You can't take that away from him now. And also to play up on the story, having Tracy Williams bring not the tag titles back, at least the TV title back to the Foundation. that's going to be making great storytelling. And then, like you said, he could either play upon wanting to do it under pure rules, since they wanted to have everything pure in in every division. They want to purify every division. So, but regardless of who wins, I know this is like probably one of the matches that I can see might be still in the show, possible potentially match on the night. And that's really all I'm really looking for. I wouldn't mind, my prediction being right, but I really want this match to be good. So if you guys see this, make sure you go out there and do a hell of a job. I don't care who wins. I don't like to be right, but at the end of the day, what I want more is for this match to live up to the hype that it's getting.
And speaking of matches that we want to live up to the hype, we were talking earlier about this match and what we thought. We were getting hyped for it. EC3 versus Jay Briscoe. This is going to be, they have it down as grudge match. This is the match we were supposed to get at Final Battle. COVID's a motherfucker. We are getting it now. And I think this one, if Dragon Lee and Tracy Williams has the ability to steal the show from a technical, high-flying aspect, this match has the ability to steal the show from that ground and pound nitty-gritty. This is like a Shane Taylor, Brody King. Barricades are going to get broken. Tables are going to get broken. People's lives are going to change because of this one. What's the line that Jim Ross loves to use? Careers will be shortened because of this match. This is the kind of match that you look forward to seeing. I give this one to Jay Briscoe. And honestly, picking this is tough. If EC3, if we didn't know that EC3 had actually signed a contract with Ring of Honor, because before he was a freelancer. He was doing freelance work in Impact. Now he did freelance work with Ring of Honor, but now we know he's signed an actual contract with Ring of Honor. So it's hard for me to give this win to Jay Briscoe. But a part of me thinks that this is a great rehab match for Jay Briscoe to win. Obviously him winning was probably the plan at Final Battle. Now EC3 is signed. It's a little bit different. But I don't think EC3 loses anything if he loses this match. But I think Jay Briscoe does, because this is about this match is about who Jay Briscoe is, as opposed to who EC3 is. This match is about everything that makes Jay Briscoe tick, who he is as a person, what he represents, what the Briscoe name represents, and what it represents for Ring of Honor. EC3 is somebody, he's kind of like the Dean Ambrose of Ring of Honor, in that sense of all he has to do is say a few words, and we're right back with him. We're right back into it. And the other thing is that now that EC3 is signed, I don't think this is the end of this feud. I think this is almost just the beginning. That we are moving along in the story, and we're going to see this coming out of this anniversary show. I think this is going to be something that they highlight for us for the summer. And I think that whoever ultimately wins this feud is going to be who we see challenging for the world title at the end of the year for Final Battle 2021, which is why I think eventually it'll be EC3 who wins the feud. But I think this time around, it's Jay Briscoe. Who do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jay Briscoe. Like you said, it just seems like this whole story is literally revolved around Jay Briscoe. EC3 wants that. I don't even want to say that he wants respect from Jay Briscoe, because he respects Jay Briscoe. He's made that known for over the past couple months. He's definitely let him know that, look, Jay Briscoe, you are who you are, and I'm coming in the Ring of Honor. I want to make my name alongside yours. Now, the problem with that is Jay Briscoe has been doing this for decades. And Jay Briscoe's saying, you're not going to mosey in here for a few months and think you're going to be on my level. So I think that that's going to be the match where EC3 is going to, Jay Briscoe is going to beat the respect, or get the respect beaten out of him for EC3, and then he will eventually shake his hand. They'll finally obviously have that mutual respect for each other. It's just everything up to this point that we've been, the back and forth, the mind games from EC3, the flat out blatant disrespect from Jay Briscoe, because he don't cut no corners, he don't pull no punches. He tell you how he feels and what it is. So again, I just think it's gonna be for a Jay victory, but then it'll like have Jay calm down and not be this like just geared up angry individual anymore, So I think the Jay Briscoe victory.
Yeah, I think them, because we like, one of the things we're talking about is how Ring of Honor doesn't seem to be doing anything for no reason. There always seems to be a purpose behind all of the things that they're doing. Like, we are getting Mark Briscoe and Flip Gordon because of the Mark Briscoe storyline of trying to get the tag titles back. All of the stuff that happened with EC3, Flip Gordon's the one who inadvertently, because he wanted to get paid, caused the problems. So now Mark Briscoe, like, all of these things are falling into a row. So that's why when they were doing that promo video and Jay Briscoe is talking about the hands that he has shook over the years, to me, the storyline shifted. Like, the end goal shifted. The goal is to get Jay Briscoe into a better position as a singles wrestler, but the eventual goal, and why I think EC3 wins the overall feud, is to get EC3's name next to the Samoa Joes, next to the Bryan Danielsons, and next to the Tyler Blacks. Those people that have built Ring of Honor and have been the core of Ring of Honor over the years, they're trying to get EC3 to that same level. And I think they're doing that through using Jay Briscoe, and it's very smart because of the connection that Briscoe has to the Ring of Honor history and that lore. But if there's anybody who has a stronger claim to being part of the Ring of Honor core and history and lore, lineage, all of that stuff, yeah, they have the same first name, but it's Jay Lethal. And we come to our main event, Jay Lethal versus Roosh. It's for all the marbles. Whether LFI keeps the tag titles, whether they lose the TV title, in a way, it almost doesn't even matter. You have to control the World Championship. You have to control the Holy Grail of Ring of Honor. And right now, it is in Roosh's hands. And if you want it, you got to pry it out of there, because this man knows how to cut any corner. He knows how to break any rule. He knows how to choke people out with wires the way I've never seen somebody choke somebody out with wires before. I didn't know you really could think of that or do that. In a sense, it makes absolute sense. There are all these cameras there. They have to have wires. Let's use the wires. Everybody else reaches for a kendo stick or a chair or a table. Roosh says, "Why be pedestrian? Let's do this with a little bit of flair. Let's have some wires. Let's get this involved." So Roosh versus Jay Lethal. This is a match for, in a way, if we want to say that EC3 and Jay Briscoe is for the heart of Ring of Honor. This match is for the soul of Ring of Honor. Who is going to prove that doing things the right way or doing things the wrong way is how we do things going forward? And Jay Lethal has the ability to become a 3-time Ring of Honor World Champion. I don't think it's ever been done before in history. But usually Ring of Honor has been pretty straightforward when it comes to champions. I think that the only other 2-time is Jay Briscoe. Yeah, I think the only other 2-time is Jay Briscoe. Every other person has been one and done. I think maybe Samoa Joe. But
I think it might have been Adam Cole. Adam Cole might.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, Adam Cole, because he traded it back and forth.
Yeah, they were trying to that didn't work out too well.
Yeah, so so I'm looking at it. Our current 2-time champions are Jay Lethal, Roosh, because he lost at the PCO, got it back. Jay Briscoe, Austin Aries. Oh wow, Cole is a 3-time. Yeah. So he would tie Adam Cole as a 3-time champion. But Jay Lethal is already the longest reigning champion by far. The Jay Lethal is 707 days, and then the next 3 people behind him are no longer with the company, because one is Samoa Joe, one is Nigel McGuinness, and one is Bryan Danielson, and then it's Roosh. And Jay Lethal's trying for that third one. I don't think he's getting it. I think Roosh is holding on to this belt. I think he remains the champion coming out of the anniversary show, because I think the money match for down the road is Roosh versus EC3. I think that's it, and I think that's what they're going to slowly build towards, because they're going to position EC3 as having found honor. He was searching for honor. He was searching all around the world. He was in Impact for a while after he left WWE. He has found the home. Now he's slowly they're taking the iron. They're taking the iron of EC3 and they're pushing him through the coal fire to get steel, and they're going to sharpen that steel, and then they're going to drive it straight through the heart of Roosh at Final Battle. That's my goal. That's my hope. That's what I want to see happen.
That's great idea.
But to get there, Roosh has to win, and he has to keep winning, and that's why I think that Roosh beats Jay Lethal. Who do you got for this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a Roosh retain. I think that the only title that would be coming out of the LFI camp would be the TV title. You can still keep Kenny and Dragon Lee active with the tag team titles, obviously, and then you keep the world title on Roosh. So again, it's still the three guys that have titles. One of them being, a double champ. He can lose the one title and still be, still have the tag titles. So, and as much as I love Jay Lethal, as much as I love the LFI story, LFI versus the Foundation, I kind of want to say, like, putting the title back on Lethal. Again, I don't have a problem with it, but I think that it kind of would do a disservice of some sort, because these guys, again, he's a two-time champion. Going for the third, it might be somewhat overkill, because I felt as though it was overkill when they made Adam Cole a three-time champ, just for him to be a transitional champ in his last reign for the most part.
Yeah.
I think that there's somebody that can use the rub of going over Roosh and becoming the new Ring of Honor World Champion, whether it be EC3, whether it be whoever. I just think they might be a little bit overkill having it be Jay Lethal. Now, if it happens and it's Jay Lethal, he does win, I don't have a problem with that. So before anybody gets upset at that, that's not the case whatsoever. I just think that it'll mean more when someone else, or if someone else were to do it. But again, this is another match that I'm expecting. I have high expectations. I'm not going in this with low expectations whatsoever. So you guys aren't getting off easy. I'm coming into this match out of both of these guys. So hey, at the end of the night, that all I want to do is be entertained, and I have no doubt in my mind that both these guys are going to show up and show out for this match.
Yeah, and one other thing is, if we're putting on our booking hat, if Roosh holds the title until December, until Final Battle, he will have the longest combined reign and the longest single reign, because the longest single reign is 645 days with Samoa Joe. He will be past that, and the longest combined reign is 707 days of Jay Lethal. He will be past that as well. So I think if they do, and one of the things that I'm getting from Ring of Honor is the sense of history and the sense of breaking records, the sense of how do you find your legacy. I think if EC3 is as long as it's not Jay Lethal, is the one who eventually ends Roosh's title reign, hopefully at Final Battle, then Jay Lethal now has something to do again. Jay Lethal he's lost his record of being the longest reigning champion in history. He now is he still the franchise? That'll be the question for Jay Lethal. It's almost how New Japan has the ability to almost always be like, oh, Hiroshi Tanahashi is kind of losing a bit. Is he still Hiroshi Tanahashi? Let's find out at this show. Like they have that's their like breaking case of emergency moment, right? So like Gato has that in his back pocket. It's crazy because like they'll do something where like, oh, has Hiroshi Tanahashi lost a step? And meanwhile they'll be like, Kota Ibushi is so awesome. And if you look at it, there's only 7 years between them. Hiroshi Tanahashi is 44 years old. Kota Ibushi is 37. Like they'll act as though Hiroshi Tanahashi is older than Suzuki. So like that's their break in case of emergency thing. With ROH, it's Jay Lethal, because as soon as that fatal four-way was announced to determine who's going to be challenging Roosh, both of us were like, Jay Lethal. It's got to be Jay Lethal. So if they set this up where Jay Lethal finally loses his status as being the franchise, now he has something to prove again. Now he has a fire behind him, and that will be interesting to see. And it means we get a nice EC3 Jay Lethal match if EC3 is the one to take it from Roosh. So I don't know really how they did it, but from Final Battle until now, they have built very strong storylines, and they are keeping everything going very, very well. But sir, we've done it all. We've said it all on this one episode to talk about just, we started with Eli Isom, and here we are talking about Final Battle of 2021. That's the kind of passion that Ring of Honor brings out of the fans, and that's why we thank all of you for tuning in with us this week. We will be on the recap, the roundtable show for Final Battle. I have to assume that Sid will be joining us because of his connections to Ring of Honor throughout the years. He has not been quiet on the fact that when WWE was not doing well in the late 2000s, that Ring of Honor is what kept him as a wrestling fan, being able to watch people like Bryan Danielson and Samoa Joe. And I can only imagine that for some of you out there, watching this week in and week out with us is something that is keeping you going as a wrestling fan. You guys are great on the Facebook group, whether it's True Heels or whether it's in the Ring of Honor True Experience group, to make your voices heard, and we appreciate all of that. We love wrestling. That's why we're doing this, right? That's why we're here. So as we continue to talk, sure, yeah.
I definitely gotta let them know that the post that you tagged me in, because we've had this on our episodes where the guy he's not a big fan, or maybe he's not feeling Amy Rose. I just had to let it be known. We've been saying that for the past couple episodes. She's just there, and it was funny because we had our conversation. Then like on the following episode, that's where the dissension between her and Kenny King started happening. And then now in this episode, they were trying to play off of it, commentary. Caprice Coleman was making comments. Ian Riccaboni was making comments. Amy Rose is suffering from Stockholm Syndrome a little bit, saying that he was there for her and he was protecting her, things of that nature. So all this story, little nuances and stories that's going on, just coming out of that, man. It's crazy how they're throwing stuff directly at us, and then they're like throwing stuff underhanded too. So it's coming from all sides.
Absolutely. So as we talk about all these things, we got to let you know where you can get in touch with us if you want to talk to us about all of these things from all sides. So Ness, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Skinny_Kravitz. You can follow me on Instagram at Skinny__Kravitz. And as always, right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, one half of Review of Honor with my man StatKing, man of 1,004 numbers. I'm also one half of the Pie Heels. I'm on Blunt Impact and George Jabroni's with my man Chris G. The Roundtable Rebels. Clearly, we have a roundtable coming up this weekend with the 19th anniversary show. And as always, you can hear my illustrious voice on True Toxicity.
And guys, you can catch me in our Facebook group and on the various wrestling Facebook groups, getting into discussions with you guys. Somebody was talking today about Thea Trinidad, Zelina Vega, had tweeted out something to, talk about all of the memories that she had with Andrade, and somebody was trying to say that she was friend zoning him yet again. And I was like, yeah, because Aleister Black will kick that dude's head off. I don't care how much of an El Idolo Andrade thinks he is. And then after Aleister kicks his head off, then Charlotte's gonna kick the shit out of Zelina. Like, how did you not understand that these people are married and or engaged to each other, and this person was not really understanding it? Or the person who said that Andrade should not have asked for his release because being in WWE is the most important thing because it's the only promotion that matters the most. And that just made me sad for having a narrow worldview. But you can also catch me, guys, on Dark Power, talking about everything that happens on AEW Dark, Dark Elevation, MLW Fusion, and finally this week, the power of Dark Power is back because NWA Power will be coming back. Yes, we've been looking forward to this for months, and we had the Back for the Attack pay-per-view just on Sunday, and now we're going full steam ahead on Dark Power. So thank you guys for tuning in. We will be talking to you about this very interesting pay-per-view that I think we'll be having very soon. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Peace, guys.